How many of us have ever been to Africa? You're looking to go to South Africa. I low-key want to go on a mission trip to Africa. I'm not gonna lie, I've been to Haiti, and after I've been there and now I can't go back, Africa is my next place that I just feel is going to be a home away from home. I really want to dive in deeper, serve that city. One thing about me when I travel, that's what started me doing travel in general, was when I went on that mission trip, I learned about other countries, and I also was able to get immersed in that culture, and it helped me understand a lot more about myself. But not only that, it helped me learn about other cultures in the world, and so I love it. I absorb it. I love to learn. I was never a history lover because they never spoke about my history, but I love to seek about world history and learn about the culturals and just how everything has emerged since time. I am currently getting ready to meet with a supplier to go to Africa. So if you guys are looking for a property, if you're looking for a hotel in Africa, this is the perfect place for you. I'm currently about to be interviewing one of the property managers in Africa, and it's a property called the Red Carnation Hotel. So I have Sharon, who is going to be speaking with us. You're going to only see me, but you'll virtually hear her. I'm going to be learning more about it. So if you have questions about Africa, safaris, or just the hotel in general, what they offer, what type of amenities that they offer, please shoot them down in the comments so that I can ask her. If you're looking to go to Africa, then definitely stay tuned or tag some of your friends who is looking to go to a girls trip. I am a travel agent that specializes in small businesses and families. So I am a specialized in group travel. So I want to help you guys get education and resources for travel. I'm not just one of those that book one and done. I went to school to be a travel specialist. So I'm here to educate you guys and get the most out of your travel. So today it's all about Africa and the luxury that you could actually receive there. So many excursions and safaris, just natural wildlife in general that you can explore. So definitely tap in. I'm so excited for you guys to meet this supplier. But anyways, it's like she messaged me at 1 o'clock this morning. Like they're at a definitely a different time this morning. But shoot in the comments, let me know what you guys are excited about for 2025 when it comes to travel. I have been to Tennessee, Chicago. I'm probably going to go back to Chicago. That's my little safe spot. But you guys comment below and let me know what you guys are excited for when it comes to travel. I offer free quotes, free consultations, and every booking receives a swag bag. I don't know about you, but I don't think Expedia gives you that. Everybody, please know that if you book with a travel agent, you are already getting that commission already booked into your pay. So you shouldn't be charged a lot of money for a quote for a travel agent. This is our job. It's just like a real estate agent. You wouldn't be charged out your butt to be able to be looked around at different properties and see which one you like the best. And for me, that's what I'm trying to educate my clients and help them understand. Travel with luxury means travel within your own luxury. Boyo's travel means be free to be you. That means you can travel within your own luxury. Whether your luxury is a 5-star resort or your luxury is a missionary trip in a third world country. You can decide whatever you want your luxury to be, but we can accommodate to that. So that's why today we're headed to South Africa and checking out the Red Carnation hotels. It is very luxury if you're looking for a luxury property, basically stepping foot out into the safari. There you're basically staying in the safari. It's very unique and luxury, and that's what I'm here for. So, comment below. Let me know what y'all are drinking this morning because I have been yapping and I'm ready for another shot of this coffee, I think. Right now, I got this coffee and it's SpongeBob coffee, but it tastes like a sundae. Who don't want a little sundae in y'all coffee? I got that one and a pineapple upside down cake because pineapples are my favorite. And it was in this exotic world market, and I have to say that was probably the best coffee. I'm literally drinking it every day. My stomach hate me, but you know what I'm saying? I love it. While I'm here, make sure May 7th, that is the deadline to getting a real ID. If you're looking to travel in 2025, you need to make sure you have a real ID, meaning that star in the corner of your license. It's just a little bit more, but you get to go out of the country, first off. And second off, you're going to have to be able to have it in order to fly domestically. If you want to fly from Tennessee to Texas, you're going to need that real ID. So starting May 7th of this year, they are going to make that a mandate. They have been extending it for about 3 years now, but they're done. They're done extending it. They're ready for you guys to get that, which I completely understand. Passports right now are really in demand, so they're coming in pretty quickly, like within a month. So if you're looking to get a passport, I definitely recommend. I can send you the details. You fill it out and you hand it to your local post office, post area. They will be able to mail it in. That as a kid, kids can get passports too, and I need you guys to know that sometimes it's a requirement when you go out of the country. Just because they're underage and they're under 16, that doesn't mean that they don't have to have a passport, because there is a lot of visas that may be required and there are a lot more strict recommendations. So by using a travel agent, I'm not here to just book one and done. I'm here to educate you guys. So that's why today I'm here educating you guys about Africa. But not only that, I want you guys to stay tuned to Boyo's Travel, because we are travel specialists. We are your eyes to the industry. We want you guys to stay on top of the game and feel confident when traveling. So for instance, we give you guys free quotes, free consultations, and free swag bags. When it comes to a small business, I'm not gonna lie, like, you wear so many hats that some days you need a break. But right now, after I take a trip, how many of us, like, when you take a trip, you're like eager, you're ready to go. It gives you that reset. And for me, that's my reset. Like, every time I take a trip, I'm ready to get back into travel. It gives me that passion, that edge to keep going, because that's what I do. Most of the time when you work in travel, they're like, oh, that's a dream job. I love that. But today, I want you guys to get in the inside as to what I do. Some days that I don't come on here, some days you don't see me post on social media, but I am interviewing and doing webinars with suppliers and getting one-on-one information about what's going on in the industry. For Boyo's Travel Industry, it's not just an agency. We do book travel, but it is more about educating our clients and getting them confident. That's the part of traveling with luxury that we all deserve. Like, I'm about to meet with somebody I've never met in my life, but I did good to get up, did my face. I'm smiling, got my coffee, and it's time to start my day, you know? Listen to my word. Always, I'm going to tell y'all right now, make sure you guys read your word, because we're in the season and the time of day. You need to know the word for yourself. I'm definitely one of those that believe. I have faith. And I believe that right now is the time that we all need to be in our word and read for ourselves. It's not for somebody that needs to teach us. God gives us the strength and the ability to. If we seek, we will receive. So seek and find the truth. And that's all. I'm going to leave with you a little piece of some motivation today. But get in your word.
But you know, when people come into Cape Town, they invariably, the first thing that they look for is the V&A waterfront. That is what people tend to ask for. And the reason being, seriously, Sierra, is that it's just been so well marketed. It really has. That area is almost a go-to. From an American perspective, we get, matter of fact, the majority of our business is Americans into the 12 apostles. But sometimes it's quite hard to convince people to look outside of the V&A waterfront. There's some well-known brands in the V&A that you would recognize, especially the one and only, of course, also in America. But for those people, if I can explain the V&A waterfront to you, it's basically a big mall. It's a shopping mall.
Okay.
And it's also based on a harbour. So it's a working harbour. So it's amazing. I mean, you can go around and walk and shop and do your things, your strolling around and what have you. But the reality is when people coming into Cape Town, they're coming in to be out and about during the day. They're coming in for the incredible views. And this is where 12 Apostles comes into its own. If you have a look at this particular picture here, this is taken on the side of the hotel. So this is on the right-hand side of the hotel, facing out onto the sea. So our hotel is sea-facing, but it's also got the backdrop of, as a matter of fact, we sit in the Table Mountain National Park. So that is the reserve behind us. That mountain range behind us is not Table Mountain. Table Mountain you can't actually see from the hotel. So if you're facing the sea from us, Table Mountain would be on our right behind that range. This is the 12 Apostles mountain range behind us. So you can see, of course, there's this beautiful views onto the sea here. You can notice up in the reserve behind us that we've got walking trails as well. But if they're interested, we've got guides there and we can take them up on guided walks. We've got picnic spots up in the reserve behind us, hammocks for people that have got a bit of downtime. But generally speaking, what we notice with the Americans is the majority of them are first-time travelers into South Africa, and they jam-pack the itinerary. So this is one hotel where I do say if you can give them a little bit of time in the hotel and enjoy a spa, enjoy the dinner in the hotel, enjoy a sunset cocktail, it is really, really well positioned. This is just, I'm just showing you Bushman's Kloof at the moment. This is not a safari lodge, it's a nature experience, all right?
Okay.
But just something totally different. So this is Bushman's Kloof. Look, the reality of this particular property, it's a 7,500 hectare private nature reserve. It's just the most exquisitely unique area in South Africa. But it's for those guests that are coming back or have got longer time in South Africa to be able to maybe, from American perspective, finish off up at Bushman's Kloof and fly out on Delta. I think it flies out of Cape Town International in the evening. Maybe have a couple of nights here just to finish off in something, just unwind, spoil, beautiful scenery, unique scenery, outdoor activities, things like that. So this is just something different to keep in the back of your mind if you've got an extra couple of nights to sort of tag on at the end and just totally indulge in something so different. So this is Bushman's Kloof. It's about 2.5, 3 hours north of Cape Town. Took 3 hours north of Cape Town. It's a very easy self-drive. Are your guests or clients, beg your pardon, are they self-drive or do you take them out and about?
I do have a lot of them that are experienced. My older clients definitely like to self-drive. My younger clients are guided. They want hands. They want to be baby. They need to know from here to there. But my older clients, they do like to travel on their own.
Okay. So just so that you know, I drive that route myself when I go up there. It's a very easy self-drive. Straight up from Cape Town through to the lodge.
Okay.
It's a beautiful self-drive, but you can self-drive it, but we can also organize, if you wanted to, a transfer, and we've got a landing strip there as well as a helicopter pad. So if they wanted to charter in, we can do that for them as well.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. This particular property, the Oyster Box, is just phenomenally beautiful. Durban is held in KwaZulu-Natal every year. It's a big trade show. It's one of our bigger South African general trade shows, if I can put it like that. And this one is a very popular one for the international operators and so on to come out and look at. It's the hotel in KwaZulu-Natal. And the biggest challenge is that it's not actually on a lot of itineraries. When people are selling South Africa, especially for the first time as they're coming in, they're doing Cape Town and Safari, and then maybe they take them out of our borders into Botswana and Zimbabwe, whatever else outside of our borders. So it's not sold very often from an international perspective unless it's linked up with game reserves up north of us. And those game reserves would be like Tanda, Amakosi, those sorts of Pinda. If you're going to do a self-drive to Pinda, that's the sort of property that would normally be linked with Oyster Box. And on average, our stays are 2 nights here. And again, different room categories, the same breakfast layout setup that I told you about, beautiful spa area. And it really is just the most amazing property to come into and spend a bit of time in it. The funny thing is, I mentioned to you, I've been selling a lot of properties over the years, and from a hotel perspective, this is such a different beast, Sierra. Hotels invariably, when you sell in Cape Town, for instance, people come in and they go out, and you've actually got to encourage them to come and enjoy a little bit of time in the hotel and go and do the spa and go and do those sorts of things. Those hotel people come in and actually spend time in the hotel. It's really, really odd and so different in the way it works. So that one you would normally, as I say, link up with your game reserves up north of KwaZulu-Natal.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Kidra. So Kidra, we opened this up for our sins, right, in COVID. And our main market that came into this was actually the USA. That was our first and predominant market right up until about a year ago. This particular property is the luxury lodge in Botswana. Okay. So if you were to sell Botswana again, I highly recommend that you work with a DMC. This is the main lodge area. We sit in a reserve called the Moremi. The Moremi Reserve is a concession reserve. In other words, you lease some land. You lease the land, and you are allowed a certain number of people on your concession. And for us, that concession number is a maximum of 24 guests. Okay. So we can't go above 24 guests. Yes, we can have pilots and guides. We've got 105 staff members there. It's just all part and parcel of the concession, but even down to the number of vehicles that you have and things like that, it's managed very, very carefully. Okay. And it's a very private experience. So Kidra, mostly guests from our perspective fly in from Maun, which is spelled M-A-U-N, and they would come normally from Johannesburg, but we also have guests coming in from Cape Town, and on occasion, not as much as directly from South Africa, we'll get guests coming in via Kasane. So talking the majority of our guests coming in from Maun through to our landing strip. If it was a direct flight, we would use a company called Mac Air. Mac Air does time their flights around the arrival of the flights into Maun. So once everybody's off their flights, they sort of you have a meet and a greet situation, and then they put those people that are going into the Delta around us. They'll all go onto one plane, and they're these little fixed-wing aircraft, and they may do 2 or 3 stops before they land at Kidra. I'm just giving you an example. All right. When I was there last, just about 8 months ago, we did, I think it was 2 other stops before we landed at Kidra, and it was literally land, plane engine remains, turns around, guests get on, off, whatever, and then we take off again and on to the next one. So it's not a hectic stop. It's literally 5 minutes, and then you're into the next one. So in total, it probably took us about 40 minutes to get through to our landing strip. But if it was a direct flight from Maun to our landing strip, it would be 25 minutes. We also work with Helicopter Horizons, which I highly recommend if you've got a decent budget. So if you look at the sort of layout here, you'll see Kidra here. This is the Moremi Reserve. We are on the western border of the Moremi Reserve. So we can cross out of the reserve onto a property to the left of us called Naberge. And Naberge is an and beyond lodge. And we can also go out onto other areas outside of the reserve and go do things like walking, fishing. I mentioned earlier on that we've got 105 staff members for 24 guests. Okay. So it's very much about service levels. It's very much about incredibly beautiful, spacious suites. Just so that you can see, this is all of our central areas. So the guest would come in across this bridge here. There's a number of lounge areas and little seating areas. What we call pockets of peace, where guests can just go away and sit in quiet little areas by themselves. We've got an interactive kitchen in there. We've got a library over there as well. And of course, you can see the stargazing area here. This to the left here is our wellness area. There's 2 spa gazebos here. We've got a gym in here. If you go straight through down this passage, down this walkway, and it's all on stilts. down this walkway, you'll pass the Boma on your left, the library's over here, and you go down, you'll find our curio shop, an amazing curio shop. My credit card could not carry what I would want to buy out of that curio shop. So there's an incredible curio shop there. And then you sort of hit a T-junction. And from the T-junction, if you look up at the top right-hand corner here, you can see that starts to open up there. That's the floodplains behind us there.
Okay.
So all the suites face out onto the floodplains. Helicopter horizons, like I said to you earlier on, if you've got the budget, I highly recommend. These are safari gurus there. They know the area really, really well. They're very knowledgeable on the game, even down to specific animals like your cats, that are around the lodge. They really are amazing to be out with. Everything has been beautifully made, beautiful color. Everything here is an artwork. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to come in here, when I was there, I put earphones on and they gave me a printed brochure, which I brought home with me. And I walked around and I listened to discussions about the artist, who the artist was. He made this beautiful piece, which is actually this is a water lily with a reflection of the water lily. Wow. Below. That is specifically made for us. These little ones down here that you can see, these are Patrick Mavros, he's a Zimbabwean artist, just does these amazing silver work. If you want to order something, it weighs a ton. I'm going to just tell you, it weighs a ton. But if you wanted to order that, we would put you in contact with that artist. But you can see just incredible color, just the most amazing finishes. Everything has been thought out so carefully. Yes. This is the library that I mentioned in brief earlier on. It's air conditioned. It's right behind the central areas. I go in with my cup of tea.
I was about to say, I would love to start my day right there and get a book. That's nice.
Exactly. Sometimes it's a gin and tonic, Sarah. You got to have a gin and tonic in the bush.
Treat yourself.
There's a lot of food and wine pairing at our hotels in South Africa as well, and we do it here as well. And the wines are included. The only thing that's not included is your premium cellar. Okay. So you get obviously your meals, which is your lunch, high tea in the afternoon, dinner, breakfast, game drives, safari walks.
So is this the only, sorry not to cut you off, but is this the only one that is fully inclusive like that?
So the Bushman's Club is fully inclusive if you book the villas. Right. Otherwise, your drinks are not. So in other words, your wines and your wines and spirits and things would not be at Bushman's Club. This one is.
Yes, you want to shoot for those bungalows, those overwater experiences.
Determined to have a private vehicle, you need to pre-book that, please, and pay for it. All right. So 6 to 12, you have to hire a private vehicle. If for whatever reason you've got a family of, I just give an average family of 4 people, 2 adults and 2 children, and our family suite, which can accommodate that, is full. Mm-hmm. We would have to split that family up because it's an open camp. Okay. It's on stilts, but we still have cats coming in. We need to be very cognizant of the fact that it's, from a safety level, the children need to be with their parents. We won't separate young children from their parents. So we would split an adult with a child and second suite adults with a child. Okay. So we charge the same rate for children as we charge for adults. Okay. This is our sleep out, which I tried for the very first time. I got lucky when I was there last time round. Mm-hmm. It's about 1 kilometer away from our lodge. Okay. It is not electrified. In terms of the power, is all lanterns and lamps. It's designed around it. If you're interested in art, there's a very well-known South African artist called PNF, and he painted this beautiful picture of a lone baobab tree, and our architect designed the sleep out around that painting. And this structure is over 10 meters tall. You can sort of see a little bit there, but it's sort of covered in a mesh that you can see through. It's quite safe. You come upstairs, there's a door, you come into the bottom area, you close the door behind you, and you go up the stairs. And on the first floor above the ground level, there is a bathroom. Above that is a bedroom, and above that is the sleep out deck. And you've got 360-degree views of the floodplains. Okay. You can book this before the guest comes in, it can be pre-booked. There is a surcharge of $250 to book it, and it takes a maximum of 2 people, and you can only do it for 1 night.
Okay.
I recommend that if you've got the longer stays, 3 nights and more, if they are not nervous, and it really is safe, is safe, to come out and try this is absolutely spectacular. I mean, when I was there, the staff did try with us to warn us that it could rain, but we were going out there to give it a shot anyway.
Yes.
So we went out there, a colleague and myself. They took us out there. They packed that. We had dinner in the lodge, but they can pack dinner for you and bring it through to you here. Okay. And my colleague, I don't know how she did it, but she climbed straight into bed and went to sleep. And I sat up and I listened to lions roaring and leopards and alarm calls and an owl flying up above me, and then eventually I climbed into bed. It must have been about 2 o'clock, went to sleep, and then I felt this tips on my forehead. I actually thought it was the owl telling me something, and then it turned out to be it was raining. So woke my colleague up, and we came downstairs, and they'd laid out the drinks trolley for us. We didn't do all of that, but in the morning we woke up to the sounds of elephants feeding below us, which was just phenomenal. The game drive, our guide came, picked us up, we went out, did a game drive, and went back to the lodge for breakfast. It can be tailor-made. If they wanted to, as I say, to have a packed breakfast, we could do that for them. That's not a problem. But just an amazing, unique experience. Yes. So just sort of some of the different dining experiences. We did gin tasting. To do a sunset gin tasting is just phenomenal. But we do lots of different types of experiences. And we've got a Pride of Lion right next to us near the camp. We call them the tree climbing. I mean, very original. Tree climbing pride there. So that is unusual to see lions that climb trees, and we've got them right next to the camp. But we've got 4 different prides around us. So good lions. But of course, the water levels can and do affect the terms of the game. So 95 to 97% sustainable. The only time that we might have to cross across to generators, and we've got a backup one, is if the weather's really been perhaps bad, or if the slant of the sun hasn't given enough time for us, our batteries to run and to accumulate the power storage. Then we may cross over to the generators. But as I said, 95 to 97% sustainable. Air conditionings, everything is run off the solar plant. I don't know if you're a fan of people like Leonardo DiCaprio and so on, but they have... Of
course. It's a big staple here in America.
So name dropping a little bit, those are the sorts of people that we have had coming through the lodge. So we are getting sort of like people that are very well-versed and well-travelled coming in, and great feedback in general on the property. And we have...
All right, you guys. I got so much stuff to tell you guys. Y'all, I was literally in that call for about an hour on all things Africa, luxury, the wow. Like she said, this is not just a hotel. This is a wow factor. So who can I tell you guys a little bit about it? Make sure you guys follow me on all social media platforms, because this video is going to be broadcasted back on my YouTube channel. So make sure you stay tuned. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
I think it's a love story. I think it's a story of my parents and their legacy. Hijra came about because my parents wanted our guests to experience the African safari in a completely new space. So this is really an ode to my parents, an ode to our family, and a gift to the world to experience the African safari in a whole new space.
There's a huge difference between what it used to be to what it is now. Accommodation is just out of this world. The food offering, nothing like it.
Every guest that comes in, they tell us, we know that you are the multi-award winning spa, and that has been amazing for us.
I find it a blessing actually to be here finally, because we hop from job to job. All those different employers don't really satisfy our needs. Until you come here, that's when you realize this is what I've been looking for the whole time. My past 19 years, this is what I was looking for.
place is very unique in one of the areas in the Delta where it's pristine. There's nowhere quite like it.
We have created something very special, a legacy that will last in Africa for many years.